Cameras will be allowed inside the courtroom in the trial of Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin. A key GOP redistricting vote fails in Indiana. And shocking new data comes to light on the suspected terrorists allowed into the country under President Biden. I'm Georgia Howe with Daily Wire Executive Editor John Bickley. It's Friday, December 12th, and this is Evening Wire.
Cameras will be allowed inside the courtroom during the trial of the man accused of assassinating Charlie Kirk. Daily Wire reporter Tim Pierce has more.
Utah Judge Tony Graff Jr. said he found that excluding the cameras from the courtroom would be disproportionate for this hearing, and made it very clear first that the transmission cannot begin until court is in session and must end as the court ends the session and cannot be filmed before or after. Tyler Robinson appeared in court in person for the first time since his arrest in September. The 22-year-old Utah man is facing a slew of charges related to Kirk's murder, including aggravated murder, felony use of a firearm, and obstruction of justice. He has not yet entered a plea.
Now fired Michigan head football coach Sherrone Moore is facing 3 criminal charges: third-degree home invasion, stalking, and breaking and entering. Dispatch audio acquired by TMZ Sports from the alleged assault includes the claim that he attacked a woman at her home on Wednesday after stalking her for months. The audio also appears to include the suspect was suicidal after, quote, quitting his job today, and that he had a knife. Here's some of that audio.
The caller told her there's a male at the location and the house attacking her. The state's been stalking her for months. The subject is suicidal. Reference quitting his job today.
Suicidal.
You want that with the knife?
The Republican-led Indiana Senate voted against a proposal backed by President Trump to change the state's congressional map. The change would have likely flipped 2 Democratic seats ahead of the midterms. Daily Wire reporter Zach Jewell has the details.
The effort to redraw the map failed in a 19-31 vote, despite Trump's public pressure on Indiana Republicans. Trump wanted Indiana to follow in the steps of red states such as Texas, Missouri, and North Carolina, and give the GOP a better advantage in next year's pivotal elections. The proposal passed the Indiana House last week by a vote of 57-41, but it ran into Republican opposition in the state Senate. After the vote failed, Trump and Indiana Governor Mike Braun said they would support primary challenges to oust the Republicans who voted against the redistricting proposal. Trump said earlier in the week, quote, "If Republicans will not do what is necessary to save our country, they will eventually lose everything to the Democrats."
A newly discovered strategic mineral deposit in Utah could give the U.S. a leg up on China's supply chain grip. Miners who leased the land originally to produce nanosilicon for lithium-ion batteries unexpectedly identified high-grade concentrations of 16 minerals critical for advanced semiconductors, electric vehicles, fighter jets, AI hardware, and more. The discovery comes amid heavy geopolitical tension over China's control of critical mineral markets. These new deposits could be a massive paradigm shift in rare earth mineral markets.
The Biden administration allowed roughly 18,000 known or suspected terrorists into the country. Here with more is Daily Wire immigration reporter Jenny Terr.
The number comes from Director of U.S. National Counterterrorism Center Joe Kent, who testified to the House Homeland Security Committee Thursday. Kent revealed that 2,000 of the 18,000 known or suspected terrorists were led into the country as part of the Biden administration's program to bring Afghans to the U.S. following the botched troop withdrawal from the war-torn country. He also said that the number doesn't include the unknown number of terrorists the Biden administration allowed in after they crossed the border. Here's Kent.
These are individuals who, under normal circumstances, would never be allowed to enter our country because of their ties to jihadi groups like ISIS and al-Qaeda. Yet the Biden administration not only let them into the country, and in many cases facilitated their entry into the country, just like the entry of the Afghan terrorists who committed the terrorist attack here just before Thanksgiving, killing one of our National Guard members and wounding another. That Afghan was brought into the country as a group of over 100,000 Afghans who were brought here during the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan. These individuals, despite what has been reported, were not vetted properly to come into the United States.
In more immigration news, the Kilmar Abrego Garcia saga continues with yet another judge order. Daily Wire political reporter Cameron Arcan has the latest.
A federal judge on Thursday ordered Kilmar Abrego Garcia to be immediately released from an immigration detention facility as the Department of Homeland Security vows to challenge the decision. A DHS spokesperson said that the order lacked legal basis and was the result of, quote, naked judicial activism by an Obama-appointed judge, and vowed to fight on. However, the judge said that, quote, since Abrego Garcia's return from wrongful detention in El Salvador, he has been redetained again without lawful authority. And then she granted his petition to be freed from ICE custody.
Meanwhile, anti-ICE activists continue to try to slow down the Trump administration. Protesters disrupted Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem as she testified on Capitol Hill Thursday. Before she could finish her remarks to the House Homeland Security Committee, she was interrupted by two anti-ICE hecklers.
Disruptions of congressional business is a violation of law, is a criminal offense under federal law. The chairman may now ask Capitol Police to remove and arrest the persons creating a disturbance. Stop terrorizing your community.
This episode is sponsored by the University of Austin, Texas. You know college is broken. Activist professors, seminars that feel like struggle sessions, $80,000 a year to hear Hamas chants on the quad while being told America is evil in class. So what's the alternative? It's called the University of Austin, or UATX. At UATX, students are in small seminars taught by great professors. They read the great books of Western civilization to learn from them, not tear them down. They build actual companies on campus with mentorship from a vast network of top entrepreneurs and investors. You can be openly Christian or Jewish without apology. And when you walk into the main atrium, there's a giant American flag. UATX admits students based purely on test scores, so the application takes just 5 minutes. Oh, and another thing. Tuition is completely free. Forever. It's funded by American patriots who want to create the Navy SEALs of the mind, not another generation of credentialed activists. To apply to the University of Austin, visit uaustin.org. That's UAUSTIN.org.
A whistleblower has come forward claiming that widespread fraud is not only happening among the Somali community in Minnesota, but also in a Somali community in Ohio. Daily Wire reporter Brecca Stoll has more.
Ohio attorney and conservative commentator Mahek Cook told Fox News Digital that a scheme similar to what happened in Minnesota is occurring among the Ohio Somali community, and that it allegedly involves millions in stolen taxpayer dollars going back over a decade. As Fox reports, Cook says that, quote, providers within the Ohio Somali community have confided to her that they've been pressured to join in a massive Medicaid fraud scheme that involves doctors rubber stamping home health care payouts to the family members of elderly individuals for fake medical conditions.
A coalition of school districts in Colorado just got a win for protecting women's sports. Daily Wire reporter Lyndon Blake has the story.
Colorado School District 49 is leading a coalition of 7 other districts that are challenging the law. The districts filed suit in May against the Colorado Civil Rights Division, the Colorado Civil Rights Commission, the Colorado Attorney General, and the Colorado High School Activities Association. Last week, the Colorado High School Activities Association settled with the plaintiffs, a major victory for girls' sports. The settlement takes the association out of this lawsuit that's ongoing in Colorado federal court, and it gives the 8 districts protection from the association. District 49 felt a lawsuit was necessary after it adopted rules last year requiring all school sports teams to be divided by biological sex. District 49 Superintendent Peter Hilt said he made clear rules on biology for his school district after he noticed more incidents of men trying to compete as women around the country. Hilt told the Daily Wire, quote, I would never want my daughters to compete against a boy. That would be unfair.
The Department of Housing and Urban Development has launched a sweeping civil rights investigation into the city of Boston, and it's accusing Democrat Mayor Michelle Wu's administration of implementing racist housing policies. The probe announced Thursday represents one of the most aggressive federal interventions yet in Trump's broader effort to dismantle local DEI initiatives that it says violate anti-discrimination law. A HUD official wrote to Wu, quote, at your office's direction, city officials have set out to smuggle racial equity into every layer of operations in city government. HUD says the result is an illegal, quote, racial spoils system.
Texas is accusing what it calls radical doctors of using taxpayer dollars to secretly fund transgender procedures on minors. Here's Daily Wire senior editor Joel Needler.
Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton has expanded a 2024 lawsuit based on new evidence that accuses 2 doctors of lying to healthcare providers about prescribing transgender procedures on kids in defiance of state law. Paxton announced additional allegations this week against 2 doctors, May Lau and M. Brett Cooper, over alleged healthcare fraud related to their prescription of transgender drugs to minors. According to Paxton, both Lau and Cooper had prescribed transgender drugs to dozens of kids in violation of state law. Paxton said, quote, "What these radicals were doing was evil, and I will pursue every available legal tool to stop and punish this cruel child abuse."
And with educators around the country grappling with the growing use of AI among students, one professor at the University of Wyoming has taken to ancient methods to eliminate the AI threat entirely, administering one-on-one oral examinations. Professor Catherine Hartman, in her religious studies seminar, opted out of essays or paper examinations, instead choosing to grill each student one-on-one in 30-minute sessions to grade their comprehension and performance. As tools like AI detection software prove to be ineffective in stemming cheating, other institutions may have to follow suit, abandoning old teaching paradigms to adapt to an AI world.
All right, those are your drive home updates. To learn more about these stories, go to dailywire.com. And in case you missed it earlier today, we covered some major stories, including Venezuela accusing the U.S. of international piracy after the seizure of an oil tanker, the Senate showdown over Obamacare, and the arrest of Michigan's now former head coach. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow morning with another full edition of Morning Wire.